All right, Shalawam, Shalawam, Yasharala. This the brother Aran back with another edifying lesson through the power and spirit of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Ha Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS who rule well in these scriptures and brought out this truth. Peace and blessings to the sincere Akim pushing this truth across the four corners of the earth, risking your freedoms and your lives to do so. And to the sincere Akwatim, listening in all humbleness and quietness, to you I say Shalawam also. All right. This lesson right here is going to be about this new virus emerging in China, man. And before I even get there, I want to get a precept. All right. First Samuel 2, verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave, and he bringeth up. Okay, so before we even get into this article, you have to keep in mind that all these viruses, the coronavirus pandemic, you know, police brutality, all these type of things come from Yahawah. Everything comes from Yahawah. Yahawah has to give the okay before, you know, the angels do their job, man, and bring forth, you know, judgment throughout the earth, man. All right, those evil angels. But without further ado, this is the article on CNBC, you know, titled Dr. Anthony Fauci says new virus in China has traits of 2009 swine flu and 1918 pandemic flu. All right, so another serious, so-called serious virus on the rise, man. All right, and that's just like with this coronavirus, man. You got a lot of people that, you know, may think that it's real. You got a lot of people who believe that it's the government falsifying things, you know, to gain control. At the end of the day, that's what it's about, because, you know, Yahawah revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. And we know that, hey, this is what Esau is doing. Esau is coming down with great wrath because he know he has but a short time, man. A little time left, man. A little time left in his kingdom, man. This is how this world is going out with the boom. You know, the elders always spoke of how we're living in Yahawah's movie, man. Yahawah's movie. You know, this is going to go how he wants it to go, you know. And what better way to end it than how it's going to end, man. Tell you the truth, you know. Race wars, you know, martial law, new world order, all of these things, man. You know, but the Lord set out his prophets to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel and tell them, hey, man, our shepherd is on his way, man. Our king is on his way to save us, man. Don't get caught in all the folly and foolishness of those that control the narrative. All right, so I'm going to get into this article. White House coronavirus advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci said Tuesday that U.S. health officials are keeping an eye on a new strain of flu carried by pigs in China that has characteristics of the 2009 H1N1 virus and 1918 pandemic flu. All right, so this is a new strain of flu carried by pigs, man. Another reason why you shouldn't be eating no goddamn pork, man. All right, the virus, which scientists are calling G4E EA H1N1, has not yet been shown to infect humans, but it is exhibiting reassortment capabilities. And what reassortment capabilities are, it's showing that it could move from being transferred or carried by pigs and move into a different type species, man. You know, the short of the matter is that it's showing that it can move from pigs and be found in humans, man. That's what they're hitting on, all right? Fauci said, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, told the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee during a hearing. In other words, when you get a brand new virus that turns out to be a pandemic virus, it's either due to mutations or the reassortment or exchanges of genes, he told lawmakers. And they're seeing virus in swine and pigs now that have characteristics of the 2009 H1N1 of the original 1918, which many of our flu viruses have remnants of that's in it, as well as segments from other hosts like swine. All right, you breaking it down for you, man. You know, the H1N1 swine flu and 1918 pandemic flu were both considered horrific viruses that spread across the globe. The H1N1 swine flu emerged in Mexico in April 2009, affecting 60.8 million people in the United States alone, and at least 700 million worldwide. An estimated 151,700 to 575,400 people died from the virus across the globe. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it is now seen as one of a variety of seasonal flu viruses. The 1918 flu, which Fauci has often compared to COVID-19, is estimated to have killed between 30 million and 50 million people. Setting the tone, man. That's what these people are doing. They're setting the tone, man. Okay? Whether you want to believe it or not, man, they're setting the tone. They're paving the way for this new world order to come through, man. To have total control, man, over you, man. And that's what the mark of the beast signifies right there, man. Control over everything that you do. Control over your thoughts, everything, man. All right, so they're just setting a narrative right now. All right. According to the CDC, more than 20 million people died in World War I by comparison. The new strain that is spreading in pig farms in China has been identified as having all the essential hallmarks of a candidate pandemic virus, scientists say. All right, so they're saying that this new, what did they call it? G4EA H1N1, this new virus has all the essential hallmarks of a candidate pandemic virus. So it's saying that, hey, man, it's showing every sign of becoming, of being a virus that's going to cause another pandemic, man. All right, Fauci said Tuesday, there's always the possibility that you might have another swine flu type outbreak as we had in 2009. It's something that still is in the stage of examination, he said. It's not an immediate threat where you're seeing infections, but it's something we need to keep our eye on, just the way we did in 2009 with the emergence of the swine flu. All right, and what did they do? A lot of people, in 2009, they was pushing those vaccines, man. The same thing they doing with corona, same thing they gonna do with the rest of these viruses that have yet to come, man. All right. Fauci's comments came as the coronavirus continues to rapidly spread across the U.S. with the 7-day average of new cases growing by 5% or more in at least 40 states, including Arizona, Texas, Florida, and Oklahoma. According to a CNBC analysis of data compiled by Johns Hopkins University, public health officials and physicians have criticized the Trump administration's lack of coordinated response to the virus. In recent weeks, President Donald Trump has downplayed the virus, saying the U.S. is nearing the end of the pandemic, contrary to experts in his own administration. And speaking on that, man, Trump has been speaking that, but that just shows you who's in control of everything at the end of the day. Trump's the so-called leader of the United States, man. But in saying all of these things, that, hey, we're almost at the end of the pandemic, but it's still businesses that just reopen and are closed right back up, man. Wasn't open. Salakia. Wasn't open longer than probably 2 weeks to a month, you know? So that shows you, man, these elites are running things from behind closed doors, man. All right. Notice it said, contrary to experts in his own administration. Earlier this month, Fauci said COVID-19 turned out to be his worst nightmare come to life as the coronavirus continues to rapidly spread across the globe. He said the virus is very different from other outbreaks such as Ebola and HIV. The virus jumped from an animal host and has a high degree of transmissibility and mortality, he said, which is what that's hidden on, let me see if I could, it's up here a little bit, but is right here in the middle. The virus, which scientists are calling G4EA-H1N1, has not yet been shown to infect humans, but is exhibiting reassortment capabilities. All right, reassortment capabilities are the virus showing a high degree of transmissibility and mortality, he said. Okay? It is historically one of the worst pandemics the world has ever experienced, he said, adding, people have compared it to the 1918 flu. First detected in Wuhan, China about 6 months ago, the new coronavirus has already infected more than 10.4 million people across the globe, killing more than 500,000. On Tuesday, Fauci told lawmakers that he is concerned about the rise in new cases in places such as Texas and Florida. He said reopening schools in the fall season will depend on the dynamics of the outbreak and the particular location of the schools in question. All right, and that's that on that, man. It's just these devils are setting the stage, man. You know, setting the stage to gain all your controls. Like the brother Samad down there in I believe Miami said, your privileges are being taken away. You never had rights. All right, we're still viewed as 3/5 of a person here, man. You know, but that's what they want to do, take away your rights, man, and cause you to worship the image of the beast, man, which is this system, this society, man. All right, rather than being who you truly are, which is a child of Yahawah, bahasham, Ha Rawchaa, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, Matthew 24:7. I just had this up. All right, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrow. Nations are rising against nations. You know, it was just brought out either today or yesterday that a U.S. troop was said to be killed by a Russian bounty. All right, that's different kingdoms and nations rising against each other. The Black Lives Matter movement, all these different movements, man, those are people standing up against people, man. All right. And there shall be famines. I went into where did I go? I want to say Burger King or something like that, man. And they was saying how it was a shortage. They didn't have any onions, man. All right, that is it's big famines coming this way, man. Pestilence is the coronavirus, the G4 EA H1N1, man. Okay, all these things are pestilences. Earthquakes, we're still seeing enormous earthquakes throughout the earth, man. That's the Lord showing us, hey, man, this is the beginning of Jacob's trouble. All right. But first and foremost, I wanted to get right here in Leviticus, the 11th chapter and the 7th verse. All right. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. Okay, so that's another reason we reading this article that we just read, man. It said that, right now it's predominantly found in pigs, man. And Jake shouldn't be eating that pork anyway. That pork is poison. The Lord said we shouldn't even be touching their carcasses. All right, because they're unclean. They're that unclean, And you got to ask yourself, hey, did you create yourself? So do you know what's better for you than the one who did? Jake don't ask themselves these type of questions, man. You know what I'm saying? And they get lost in the sauce that quick, man. Deuteronomy 14:8. And the swine, because it divided the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. You're not even supposed to touch that pork, man. Okay. Now it's known, that, hey, pigs in China, man, are infectious. They carry viruses that are deadly. Hey, that's another instrument of judgment you by Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, used to judge the world, man. Because a lot of the world still ingest swine, man. Still ingest swine. All right. And y'all gonna get judged continuing to eat those abominations, man. Continuing to, ingest pork, man. And that goes for shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish, and all those other abominations, man. You're not supposed to eat it, man. From there, I want to go to Isaiah 66 and the 17th verse. All right. I'll start at the 15th verse. For behold, Yahawah will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by a sword will Yahawah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi shall be many. All right, these viruses, these different things being discovered throughout the earth. Viruses and not pandemics, but pestilences and flus and things like that. all those are is Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi is using to judge the world, man. Using to judge the world, but mainly the Israelites who don't want to adhere to what their power set out for them. Okay, They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree, in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination, and the mouth shall be consumed together, said Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. All right, so the Lord's getting ready to bring mass judgment throughout the earth. Double whammy. You know, it's going to get to the point where, hey, man, if you ain't walking that straight and narrow, you running into judgment. You know? It's Jeremiah 42 and the 17th verse. I start at the 15th verse right here too. And now therefore hear the word of Yahawah, ye remnant of Judah. Thus said Yahawah of hosts, the power of Israel. If ye wholly set your faces to enter into Egypt and go to sojourn there. And what is America called? America is called spiritual Egypt. All right. Then it shall come to pass that the sword which ye feared shall overtake you there in the land of Egypt, and the famine whereof ye were afraid shall follow close after you there in Egypt, and there ye shall die. So shall it be with all the men that set their faces to go into Egypt to sojourn there. They shall die by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, and none of them shall remain or escape from the evil that I will bring upon them. All right. And that was speaking about during the times of Jeremiah, but it's twofold, man. Speaking about now too. All right. Because a lot of people are going to die by way of the sword, famine, and pestilence, man. All right. So this new virus that, you know, has been discovered, rediscovered, whatever, man. Hey, this is an instrument used for judgment. Okay, to the disobedient, to the ones who don't want to listen to the words of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, because those are the words of Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi also, man. The law, man. You know, those are principles and rules you should be living your life by. You know. But I want to end out this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory which is due to Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Ha Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at GMS who rule well in these scriptures, brought out this truth. Peace and blessings to the sincere Akim pushing this truth across the four corners of the earth, risking your freedoms and your lives to do so. And to the sincere Akwat, them listening in all humbleness and quietness, to you I say Shalawam also.